Well, pretty simple. Thank goodness for Sylvia Fowles. Another historic performance. No player in the history of our league has ever had a stat line that's so recorded tonight with more than 20 points, more than 20 rebounds, more than 3 assists. I'm sorry, more than 3 steals and more than 3 blocks. No player has ever done that before. It's a historic performance. And, to say that we needed every bit of it, it would be an understatement. She had to put the team on her back multiple times at both ends of the floor. If she's not defensive player of the year, what a travesty that would be. She's been absolutely unbelievable on that end of the floor. And then obviously tonight, was the best offense that we could find.
I know you're immersed in these games, but does it ever just occur to you what we're watching here? I mean, she's out there doing things that nobody's done at age 36.
Yeah.
Does she ever cease, I guess, to amaze you?
I just know, I'm with her every day. I do appreciate Sylvia Fowles. I do know the sacrifices that she's made to do what she's doing for us. Syl just loves her teammates, loves his franchise, and loves the game. That is probably the bigger thing. That's what she's showing you, is how much she loves the game. I played her an entire half and she was gassed. And didn't want to hear my ass telling her to get back on defense, just to sprint. But I just think there's nothing that she can't do. And I think who misses out is fans. I think our league has grossly underserved Sylvia Fowles' career. We hear about so many other players, and I'm sure ESPN went into this game wanting to love up on, all the stars from Seattle. Sylvia Fowles is the most underserved player in the league. You never see the league pushing Sylvia Fowles. When's the last time Sylvia Fowles got a player of the week? So I'll stop there.
So, but you're talking about how tired she was, but even at the end, when you got those 2 huge threes from Damaris and Fee, it was her block in the middle.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That kind of was just
exactly
important.
Right. Yeah, that was when Joel Lloyd turned the corner, right? Yeah. I mean, you guys are watching, greatness. One of the best player. I told you, so one of the best players ever. Certainly at the center spot. I mean, so I just don't think there's anybody close in terms of what she does for her team.
And just to go off that, everybody's going to talk about what Syl did on the offensive end and how much she carried you guys on that end tonight. But like you said, with the 4 steals and 3 blocks, just what enabled her to really dominate the game from wire to wire on that end?
Oh, Syl's dominated defensively in every game that she's played in this year. I always know that's good for me in training camp when I see her being locked into help side blocks. Look a lot like Syl's coming out of nowhere and getting people. Whether, if you challenge Syl, she'll let you know, like I think she got Sue along that baseline. She's just been so aware in pick and roll defense. It's where she gets a lot of her steals. She's just really active. And again, to me, it's she's running away with defensive player of the year. And she's done that from the beginning. So what allowed her to do it today? She's just being herself. The paint is something we felt like, we could be in today. I didn't think that our offense was very good outside of Syl and Syl navigating multiple players around her. But we know we didn't get the ball movement. We don't make Syl's life any easier. And, I'd like to be better, but we'll certainly take the W.
And then just to quickly run through Bridget Carleton's third quarter, hits a big 3, takes a charge, 2 free throws for Syl, a steal on the next possession, a perfect entry pass, all while shutting down Brianna Stewart just in the third quarter. What did her performance do to really kind of get the train back on the track?
Yeah, we thought her minutes were huge. That's what we told her. There were 2 players that we mentioned in that locker room. BC was the first one. Her minutes were huge for us. She fought the post in a way, and trying to make Stewie's, bad call. I think Tiffany Bird had a call where she called her for holding. She did not hold. She played great defense, got around exactly as we hoped to. Bridget does everything you ask of her. She's one of those players that does things right. And then I think she kind of sensed that we needed some perimeter shooting. And so when she got those chances, she did that, and her minutes were big.
Cheryl, have you ever had a big who was as active as Syl was tonight finish a game without a turnover or a foul?
I don't know historically. I just know that, you don't turn the ball over when the defense has got full attention on you. Our entry passing sometimes leaves a lot to be desired. And that, she managed 0 turnovers. That's pretty impressive. And then, fouling, like we just talked about this, like good players don't foul, and Syl's a really good player. And her timing is really good. To have timing, you have to have alertness for what's happening, and not only what's happening then, but what's going to happen next. And that's where Syl's really good.
Where over the years, has she gotten significantly better at that? Because it seemed like when she first got here, she would still reach a little bit. And it looks like over the years that she's kind of cut back on that to the point where she still is where she's now more up and down when she defends.
Yeah, no, I think we've talked about, last few years, we talk a lot more about airborne defenders. And so I think she's really bought into that. She knows when she's got a block, but then there's other moments that, I can't, I'm not smart enough to go back and kind of know what she was before and what she did. I just know she's the anchor. She's the one that, we count on her to limit touches in the post. We count on her to play pick and roll defense in a variety of ways. Tonight, K-Mac yelled for help when they were running an elevator for Sue. Sue was wide open because K-Mac got stuck. Syl switches out on Sue. She just literally did everything for us tonight. And did multiple, she's a multiple effort player, and that's what the great ones do. They give you multiple efforts.
Oh, you talked about, other than Syl, how the offense was a little stagnant at times, but you had to be happy pretty much start to finish with the team defense tonight.
Yeah, no question.
I thought Fee and Bridget both did a great job on Stewart, and you weren't giving up a lot of easy shots.
Yeah, and that was the goal. So it's good to hear some objectivity, from you that actually happened. Because I don't mean that in any way. I thought, actually, I'm pretty critical of us. And I thought we gave up some easy ones. And so I'm saying, I'm glad that I'm probably wrong. If I go look at it, our goal obviously was to be hard to play against and make everything that they do hard. They're terrific at sharing the ball. They move the ball like no other team in the league. They trust one another where they're going to be. And they give each other, they'll give themselves up for the good of the offense. They trust every player that touches the ball. If it's, Lou to take a shot, Talbot, Ezzy, they trust what they're doing and they run really good stuff. I think Noe's a, hell of a coach, has done a hell of a job. And, for us to defend in the way that we did, obviously we needed it because our offense wasn't as good as we needed it to be. So the defense won the game, the defense of Syl, and then obviously Syl's offense. But as a team, I thought our guards were pretty good at making the shots a little more difficult. Yeah, they got free a couple times, but end of quarter, I saw Jewel saw one that go down in that corner, and it's her hot zone. But overall, yeah, there's no way. We held an opponent below 40%. Our record is you can ask Simone or Corey. Our record is really, really good. I think 120 some and 3 when we hold opponents below 40% since 2011. So it's always a goal of ours, and we haven't done it in a while. And we jumped on our team about that since the break, there's 4 games of nowhere close to what we needed to be defensively. And so it was good to see us do that against Seattle.
One last one. 4 games now out of the break, 3 of which were on the road, 3 of which were against teams ahead of you. 2-2. You probably want it to be better, but will you take 2-2?
Well, I have to. They won't let me have it any other way. Yeah, it's all part of the journey. I'm not somebody that gets caught up in that. Again, a lot of us didn't even know that we played 10 out of 13 on the road and that we were 10-3, our last 13 games. And so we're just pretty focused. We wanted to make sure that, like in this game today, that, we're not a team that anybody's really talking about being a contender. We had to listen to, halftime shows, of other games and, naming the 3 top teams, naming the teams below us, never mentioning the Minnesota Lynx. And we thought, maybe tonight would be a chance for us to squeeze into the narrative a little bit. And I sure would like to see Sylvia Fowles get her just due in terms of shine from the league, from the commentators. I am so sick and tired. To say that Sylvia Fowles going into the season was the 16th best player in the league, that's irresponsible coverage. Absolutely irresponsible. So I'd like to, for Syl to, to get the shine that she deserves.
Coach, our last question will come from the Zoom. Danny, go ahead. Hey, Coach. Actually, on that exact note, I was wondering if you could speak a bit as to what you think goes into that lack of coverage of Sil, lack of pushing Sil, as you said, lack of shine. What explains it, do you think?
I wish I had an answer. Sil's not one of those players that's going to lobby for things. I mean, I can't tell you what I really think. I can't tell you what I really think. There are just some players in this league that our league likes to push, and Sil's not one of them, and it's not right. And let's do our part to make sure that Sil's getting the shine that she deserves. That she'll be no question on the best 25 at 25 years. She'll be on that list. That'll be good. But yeah, I just wish we could do better. Not just when she has historic games, to understand that she's carried this franchise when all the other players left and retired and when it rode off into the sunset, still stayed and has carried this franchise and buoyed this franchise and has put us back in contention.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
That stat that Coach was talking about, we are now 128-5 since 2011 and 8-0 this season. And that is when we hold our opponent to under 40% shooting. For those of you on the Zoom, the players that we'll have coming in tonight are Sylvia Fowles and Nafisa Collier. We'll have Sylvia up first.
Hey, Sil.
Hey, Pat.
It's been a couple of years since you beat these guys,
Mhm.
and the game that you played them here earlier this season was did not quite turn out the way you wanted.
Right.
What was there a particularly an additional emphasis on this game? Not only because you hadn't beaten them in a while, but just to kind of establish you guys as a team that can contend for a championship this year.
I don't think it was extra emphasis. I think it was more so of locking in, making sure we understand what we do well, what Seattle do well, and how can we balance each other out and play well. And also just having trust in what we have and understanding like what we have is very valuable. and just going out there and playing without any worries. And I think it synced in tonight for us, not just because it was Seattle, but just because it was the next game on the schedule.
You guys really seem to be locked in defensively too. What was it about your defense tonight that particularly the 3 times that Seattle got this within 1 point? I mean, what was it about the defense tonight, particularly at those moments where you guys were able to rise to the occasion?
Trusting what the coaches had to say and what they wanted us to get done. At times, it don't feel good to leave people out there on the island by themselves, or, not being in help side at the right time, but trusting what the coaches had to say and actually executing that, I think is what you guys got to see today, and it turned out well for us.
So I don't know if anybody's informed you of the historical nature of this box score tonight. But you have to know it's one of the best games the Senators ever played in this league. You've had so many great memories here with this team since you got here in 2015. You won the MVP, you won titles. Where do you file this one away in your list of memories?
I don't know just yet, but I do know that I will start giving myself more credit. I'm the type of player who don't really try to think about it, because I think this is my job and these are things that I'm supposed to be doing. But at the end of the day, these things are not easy. And so just enjoying the ride and making sure I understand the work that I put in, and making sure I know that this is not easy, but I got some time to let it sink in tonight. So I'll give you a question later. I'll give you an answer later in the week.
And just kind of going off that, you just said how hard it is.
Yeah.
When you're on one end of the floor and you're battling 2-3 different people at the same time for positioning inside, and then go out and go to the other end of the floor, and you have to constantly be calling out, where Stewie is or where Jewel is. Like, just what goes through your mind mentally when you have to, just maintain that level of focus and energy on both ends?
What works for me is just taking it possession at a time, and not getting rattled. I tend to speed myself up, but for the last couple of games, I just been so at ease, and I'm not letting people rush me. And so I think when I'm at a steady pace of just letting things develop, that's when I'm at my best. And tonight it showed again.
And then defensively, just your communication on that end of the floor, especially with all the different action and kind of free flowing play that Seattle runs. Just what did you see on that end that just allowed you to really dominate on that end?
Well, Seattle really don't run plays. They just move, and they play well together, and they got a flow together. So you have to be ready for almost anything. And so just making sure you're talking constantly to the guards and making sure they get over screens. If they're not getting over screens, making sure they understand that they have to switch and take the big and all those things. So just extra communication worked out for us tonight.
I think you played every minute of the second half. Coach said you were really tired at the end.
Yes.
And yet Jewel Lloyd comes around the corner there and you get that last block of the game. Can you run us through that play and what it takes to get there when you played, so many minutes?
I seriously think I was in the right place at the right time. So thank God I was in help side, because I was a tad bit slow getting back, but our guards did a good job at jamming them up top. So Jewel took a little time to turn the corner to get in the paint. And so by the time I turned around, I seen her coming. I was like, okay, this is your moment. Either she's going to shoot over you or you got to contest without fouling, because we wasn't trying to foul at that moment. And I jumped just in enough time to get my fingertips on it, and got the ball back to Lasia and transitioned back down to the other end.
So Cheryl was in here a while ago talking at great length about her frustration with the league because she doesn't feel like the league promotes you and celebrates you
Right.
as much as she thinks you deserve.
Mhm.
When you see the league promoting other players and it's not you, does that bother you at all?
It used to a couple of years ago, probably when I was younger. Yeah. But at this rate, it don't. Although I don't get the recognition that I'm supposed to get, as coach would say, it still don't stop me from doing the things that I do. So either you recognize it now, you're gonna recognize it later. So, but no, I don't get frustrated.
Why does it no longer bother you?
I think because I'm at a place where I'm content with who I am and what I do. And I know that nobody quite do the things that I do. And so when you have that mindset, you really can't think about whatever else people talking about or what they're not talking about.
Still, our last question will come from the Zoom. Danny, go ahead.
Hey, Sil. I was wondering, first of all, congrats on a historic game. But I was wondering, being that there's 7 days until you all play again, was there a little bit of extra motivation to kind of leave it all out there tonight?
Yes. Yes, we knew we had a week coming up, so we just wanted to end on a good note. A week is a long time and a lot of practice for coach to be harping on the things that we didn't get done. So this makes it much easier when you get the win. Of course, we have some things we need to work on still, but it makes it that much easier when you get the win.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sil.
Thank you, Corey.
I love that answer. She basically said she had to play like that or else coach would yell at her.
A couple more stats for you guys. The 20 rebounds tie a club single game record, one that she shares with Rebecca Brunson. She's done it twice, and Rebecca Brunson has done it once. The 17 defensive rebounds are a franchise single game record. And she has the top 3 spots, 17 tonight, 16 in 2018, and then 16 in 2020. These will all be in post-game notes, but just so you have that. Those are all regular season games, by the way.
You've played for Sil for the better part of 3 years now. Did she ever cease to amaze you?
No, sorry, my voice. 20 rebounds is absolutely crazy. I didn't even know she had that many when Cheryl did that stat. So she definitely never ceases to amaze me. She just breaks records every single time we have a game. It's unbelievable.
Did you know that she had no turnovers and didn't commit a foul?
No, again, unbelievable. I mean, that's awesome.
Have you ever played with a big who was that active that had a game with no fouls and no turnovers?
Absolutely not. No, I've never played with anyone like Sil before, and it's so fun to do it. Again, the things that she does day in and day out. I mean, breaking records every time we have a game. She's done something that no one in the league has ever done before. It's so cool to be a part of that and to see that firsthand.
So you and BC obviously did an awesome job on Stewie tonight, holding her to 6 of 23 shooting. She's shooting less than 35% on you guys the entire season. Just what about that matchup do you think, or how have you guys been able to be so successful against her so far this season?
I think just knowing her tendencies and trying to do the best that we can to make her take hard shots. She's, I mean, obviously one of the best players in the league, so she's going to score, but making each time that she scores as hard as possible. And I think BC especially did a great job with that tonight.
And Cheryl spoke at length tonight just about her frustrations with the national media at large and their coverage of Sil and the lack of flowers that she's kind of been given throughout her whole career. Just what is your message to people who may have doubted Sil, you, or the Lynx in general coming into a game like tonight?
I don't even have a message for them because it's not about them. It's about us. We know how special that we are. And if they're not seeing that, then that's their loss. And apparently they're going to be shocked when they see us do great things. So it's a surprise coming for them.
Any questions on the Zoom? Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Gotta go.